another Monday morning meeting that could have been an email, another passionate project that your team is excited about, only to be killed by corporate politics, another year of building someone else's dream. If you're nodding your head to any of those, well, this video is for you, because that was literally me a few months ago. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how I managed to rewrite the story and move away from the corporate rat race and move towards entrepreneurial freedom. And the main message of this video is really to share with you how I did it, and also some tactics how you can already get a head start, because obviously leaving your corporate comfort to start your own business or whatever your dream is doesn't happen overnight. And that was really a journey and a process for me as well, which I'm going to share with you in this video, because the world is changing faster than we know it. AI is here to stay, and trust me when I say it's radically going to change the corporate world as we know it. So you want to have a head start on that and build a life on your terms instead of being dependent on someone else calling the shots on your life. Now, a quick background story in case you haven't watched my videos before. I used to be a 5-star luxury hotel general manager, managing hotels in different parts of the world, living in many different countries, from China, New Zealand, UK, UAE, Switzerland, Lithuania, all over the world, and I really enjoyed it. And I was doing this for 15 years and probably not too bad at it, as I was actually the youngest general manager in the company's history. So yeah, I was lucky on the one hand side, but also I put my all heart and soul in that, and of course was blessed with amazing teams wherever I worked. So I really enjoyed it. But at the same time, I really realized I was holding myself back. I was not really living my full potential. And while the job was definitely fulfilling and rewarding financially as well, I was on a 6-figure annual salary after taxes, plus a lot of perks like free housing, car insurance, the whole shebang. I felt there was more to life than that. And actually, I must say a big credit to my wife, who never really worked in a corporate career, so she never knew what it felt like, the comfort, right? But for me, watching her, I was really inspired, because she could have worked from anywhere, anytime she wished. She was purely making her money online, and that was very inspiring. And there's no ceiling to how much you can make, right? Let's be honest, in most corporate careers, there's a certain limit to how much you can earn. And then with every promotion, you get a bit higher salary, but it's very unlikely that in a small to mid-scale company, you're going to be making a 7-figure salary after taxes. It just wouldn't be possible at all, right? That would be a multinational company, maybe if you're at the top there, but other than that, it's really, really unlikely. Versus if you have your own business, ultimately it's just how much you can sell and generate, right? So for me, that was really the trigger to see how far I can push it, where can I go, and just building your own baby, right? I was really, building the dream of someone else, right? Of the owner of the hotel, of the company. I was working for them, which was great. I was rewarded for it. But ultimately, whether I did a good job or bad job, I would still keep my job more or less. And nothing really fundamentally changed. If I had an amazing year at the end of the year or not, fundamentally nothing changed. Maybe you get a little bonus, maybe you don't. But your life still goes on. And I really realized there must be more to that. So that's when I took the decision, end of 2023, quit my job and moved into my entrepreneurial journey. But I didn't just do it out of the blue. I was actually prepared. And I come to this in a second when we talk about the smart transition, because I think there are few important steps that you should be doing before leaving the corporate comfort behind. Now, obviously, I don't have to tell you about job uncertainty in the future. You're always going to be at the mercy of your boss, of the owner of the company, right? At macroeconomic situations, how the world is unfolding, how the general economy is doing, right? If you're in a recession, yes, having your own business will also be challenging, but you can control how you're going to do things. Versus if you're employed, if the owner is running into difficulties, guess what? The first one who's going to be gone is most likely the employees, right? To reduce the payroll. So it's a lot of uncertainty. But I personally think one of the biggest factors for anyone in the corporate world right now as an employee is going to be AI. The impact of AI, we have no idea yet. And I'm honestly, genuinely believe it's going to be absolutely revolutionary. And I really challenge you. I personally think that in the next 10, maximum 15 years, I just can't think of too many jobs that are not going to be replaced by AI. Now, like it or not, and I'm not a fan of that, right? It's just going to happen. Now, maybe it will create some new jobs, but most of the jobs that we know today, I generally think are going to be replaced by AI. And if you disagree, let me know in the comments down below which job you think can't be replaced by AI or a humanoid robot in the future. Even when I was working in a hotel, we thought those cleaners, housekeepers will never be replaced. Well, when you see those humanoids moving now and having fine motoric, being able to cook even, why couldn't they also clean an apartment? I generally believe that will happen. And guess what will be the impact on your job prospects in the future, right? A lot of those jobs will be outsourced to AI. It's much cheaper. They don't complain. They don't want holidays. They don't want salary increases. It just works and probably much more efficient. Marketing, copywriting, secretary, finance, I don't know, you name it. All those jobs can easily be replaced. And that's why I'm really cautioning you to start thinking about it, because it will happen whether you like it or not. So you want to be prepared for it and rather use AI for your own advantage in your own business, in your own endeavors, rather than being replaced by it. And of course, for me personally, the importance of self-direction, of having time and location freedom, not having to be in the office. When my boss told me I had to come on weekends on the Sunday because some head of state arrived, and while it was great in the moment, right? Essentially, again, it didn't really change my life. I had to sacrifice time with my family to come and greet that important person. So I didn't want to do that, but I want to live life on my own terms. Now, how to go about that, right? That's a big question. And I genuinely believe you want to start while you're still employed. Because I see too many people, they have that urge of becoming their own boss and starting their entrepreneurial journey. And that's cool. But if you're used to a certain lifestyle, right, or you have family commitments, right, maybe you have some kids, you have a wife that you have to pay for, you have a mortgage, right, just leaving your job like that and then let's see what happens can be very challenging. Because trust me, that process, that journey is very tough. It sounds nice, when you think about it and we tell someone about it in the evening over some drinks to talk about, pursuing your dreams. Amazing, great. You see those YouTube videos. They tell you you can make crazy money. Amazing, great, right? You get all excited. However, the reality can be very humbling, to say the least. And it might take you some time. Now, when I quit my job, I made around 3,500 to 4,000 euros a month of side hustle income. So that was obviously much less than I made in my job, but still it generally covered my living expenses. Plus, of course, on top of that, I had income from my investments, the rental income from my 2 properties here in Dubai. So I felt sort of comfortable and safe with that. But if I had zero income, it will be definitely much more challenging. So I really believe you want to start while you're still employed. But at the same time, make sure you avoid burning out in your job. And also you want to be respectful and fair to your employer, right? You don't want to start working on your side hustle while you're on your 9-to-5 job, because it wouldn't be right to your employer. Plus, you might run the danger of being fired even earlier because they start noticing your productivity going down, efficiency dropping. So you want to be very deliberate about it. And yes, it can be tough. I remember when I started my YouTube channel, I was still running the hotels and I would be filming my videos either before work, after work, on the weekends. And it was really tough because, when I came back from work, I was really tired. On the weekend, I just wanted to relax. And to make those videos took me ages. I remember it was really, really painful. But I did it nonetheless because I was passionate about it. And I saw the long-term financial upside of having a financial YouTube-related channel as well. So that kept me going. But it was very challenging. So I really set aside clear hours of the week when I do what. I plan my week. So you want to be very deliberate about that. And another super crucial point is to make sure you have an emergency fund set aside. Either way, even if you're not planning to leave your job, you want to make sure to have an emergency fund on top of your investments that you do first, right? Because if, God forbid, something happens, you want to have money readily available that you can easily have access to. Real estate is not an emergency fund, right? If you own an apartment, to sell that until you have the money from the sale in your bank account can take ages, right? So that's not really liquid. That's not really an emergency fund. In my case, I told myself at least 12 months I want to try my entrepreneurial journey. Worst case, I could probably always come back to the corporate life. But I made sure I had enough money for at least 12 months. So I really urge you to do the same. If you only give yourself 3 months for that journey, that might be a bit too limited because again, you might take longer to get your business up and running. So again, depends on your personal preferences, of course, and your family commitment, whatever. But I would really strongly suggest take your monthly living expenses times 12 to at least have that cushion and not feel the pressure too early on. Otherwise, you might make some rash decisions. And before we move into what you can potentially start with as a side hustle, I also want to just urge you once again that even if you don't maybe necessarily plan to run your own big business or what have you, diversifying your income is a smart approach, right? The same way how we diversify our investments ideally, right? You don't want to invest only into dividend stocks or only into an ETF or only into Bitcoin. Ideally, you want to diversify because we never want to put all our eggs into one basket, right? The same with your salary. If it only comes from one source, your employment, and all of a sudden you are being let go or replaced by AI, well, then you go from 100% of income to 0 real fast, and then puts extra pressure on you, on your relationship to find a new job. So even if you're not planning to leave your corporate job, think about having a second or third income stream just to get that little comfortable income, that cushion, that worst case, even if you were to be let go, you can still sustain yourself for a while. Let's talk about some of the things that you could be doing to make a side hustle income. Now, obviously, the easiest thing is just go on YouTube, type side hustle ideas, and you'll be flooded with millions of videos promising you how to make $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, euros, pounds a month. And while some of them might give you a good idea, often I feel that's a bit clickbaity and they give you unrealistic expectations. And often I find when I watch these creators, they talk about things, but they never actually do them themselves. So for me, it doesn't really feel sincere. But I'm a big fan of just exploring different things. While I was employed, even before starting my YouTube channel, I was having different Shopify stores, different online businesses that I tried out. Dropshipping was all the hype a few years ago, and I did my own dropshipping store. I was selling bracelets online, which I would buy on AliExpress and resell them through my own Shopify website, and I made a bit of money, right? I had another Shopify store where I sold motivational canvases that you hang yourself on the wall with inspirational quotes. Yeah, I was doing that. I had a couple of designs. I was selling them through Printful, print on demand store. And again, I made a bit of money, but I didn't really see the long-term benefits of that. But honestly, it taught me a lot of valuable skills and insights that I can now use in running my own business, right? So definitely try out different things, because I don't think there's the one best side hustle. Otherwise, everybody would be doing them. But try out different things and see what you like, what you don't. Being here in Dubai, you meet a lot of cool people. And recently I met someone who has a logistics company, but as a side hustle, they're actually selling a shampoo for men. Very interesting one. I saw the design. I really liked that, which they really enjoyed themselves. They contacted the manufacturer of that and they became the regional distributor in the region where they lived. I thought it was so interesting, right? They're already running a transportation business that really made them very good income. But he said, first of all, it's a passion of mine. And second of all, why not diversify my income? And I really like that attitude and thinking. So obviously there's so many different ways these days how we can monetize. A very good friend of mine selling digital goods online, meaning wallpapers, templates, Notion templates, all different kind of digital things that you produce once, you put it up for sale online on websites like Gumroad, Shopify, different pages. You produce them once, you put them there. Obviously, you have to get a bit of traffic to that, either organically or run ads. And he made last year well over 300,000 euros just from that. And literally, that's from a one-time effort. Once it's up there and running, it's literally passive income. So for me, that's definitely inspiring. And that just shows there's so many different ways to start making money online. It's actually easier than you think to start earning your first dollar, but to really go all in and full time, like anything in life, it does take discipline, focus, and continuous improvement. But here the beauty is you can actually use AI to your own advantage, right? Rather than being displaced by it in the future, which inevitably you will be, right? Right now you may be feeling cool using AI and ChatGPT and all these other tools to answer emails and put out reports. But guess what? Those companies aren't stupid. They see how easy it is and they can just cut out the middleman, so to say. That might be you, and then just only rely on AI. So instead of being replaced by AI, use AI to your own advantage when you create such side hustles, right? All of that, what I spoke about, creating wallpapers and sell them online. You can use an image generator for that, make some very good prompts, get some cool images, put them up for sale. You'll be surprised, people buy these things. I didn't have any idea how to run ads, for example, on Facebook, right? I knew I should be running them, but I didn't know where to click and what to do. So I used Gemini by Google, which is free of charge, where you can screen share your screen, and in real time, it will tell you where to click, what to do. And in no time, I was up and running, and also use ChatGPT or any other AI tool to start brainstorming. Tell it your hobbies, tell it your passions, and it will be such a good advisor to help finding some side hustle ideas that could work with you, with your schedule, where you live. You want to have a physical business, an online business. It can really be an amazing consultant. So definitely use AI to guide you on that journey. And regardless of which side hustle you end up pursuing, you want to be building a personal brand. I know it can be a little bit daunting for some of you to put yourself out there, but I really believe that this is so important. Too many people hide themselves behind, some brands and so forth. But I think we're moving into a world where really people want to connect with the creator, with the person behind a business, right? Very often, some of the big companies, we know more about the founder than the actual company. And honestly, I wish I would have started that process earlier. I waited too long. I was too long in my corporate career, and I was really hiding myself behind the facade. On LinkedIn, the professional platform, I had my profile picture, all corporate with a tie and suit jacket and all proper over there, and do the occasional cheesy post where I'm delighted to announce, I'm glad to share with you, all these cheesy posts, which honestly, I now feel really cringe. LinkedIn is just not my social media anymore, but obviously it can be very beneficial for some of you. But once again, use ChatGPT to help you guide which social media might make most sense for you, right? I mean, if you're an aspiring photographer, then probably you want to be more on Instagram. If you want to become a trader or an investor or finance related, then maybe X makes more sense for you. Or you want to sell products for some other brands, then maybe consider TikTok. With the TikTok shop, you can really make some nice affiliate income. Whatever it is, start putting yourself out there. Get comfortable being in front of the camera. Well, in fact, actually, you don't have to be in front of the camera, right? In the case of X or Twitter formerly, you can just write things, right? Or you can start your own podcast and start interviewing some other guests in your niche, right? Whatever works best for you, but start putting yourself out that people become aware about you and you become a thought leader in your industry, or people start recognizing you. Because once you go all in and you make the transition from corporate, where you can hide behind a facade, to running your own show or starting your own business, all of a sudden you need to drive traffic and attention. And the best way to go about that, in addition to ads and all the other hacks and tactics you can employ, is having a personal brand, right? And there's some things about, obviously, like having an email list, right? I waited way too long to have an email list. Now I really take it serious. I have a platform that I pay quite a bit of money for, but it really helps me to grow my email list. I send out a weekly newsletter, which, by the way, if you're not subscribed to, good time now to do so. Find the link down in the description below, but definitely start taking this very serious. And you don't have to be on all the platforms, right? Personally, I also try to diversify the platforms as well. Now I started dabbling around with TikTok, on X, on Instagram, but I keep on realizing that YouTube is the platform of choice. Still, I'm going to be using the other platforms, but don't overstretch yourself thinking you have to be on all those platforms at the same time. And that brings me to the benefits and why I'm so grateful I did that transition, because yeah, it's been absolutely priceless. And some people ask me, Kai, would you do it again if you could? I would say absolutely, even if I earned less than I did in my job, because now I really feel freedom. I can really tell you that location freedom, time freedom, I can work when I want. Right now, it's Sunday evening when I'm recording this video, but at the same time, I know that on Monday, maybe, if I want to, I can just go to a beach club, soak up the sun and enjoy, when in the past, I had to be Monday morning, 9 a.m. sharp in the office because I was told to. And of course, also the creative freedom, right? I mean, I can choose any topic I talk about or any direction I want to take the channel or my business. I have full freedom, right? Again, nobody from corporate or owner side who tells me what to do. And lastly, I really believe I'm future-proofing myself, because I'm not going to be at the mercy of corporate restructuring or AI taking over my job. I future-proof myself by building my own business and leveraging the power of AI for my own benefit, right? I think that's really a mindset shift that I really want you to think about and start actioning. Even if you don't have any intention of quitting your job anytime soon, which is totally fine, right? I'm not saying everyone has to leave their job right now. I just believe that we are now in a time at an inflection point where this is amazing time to start building that side hustle, start getting a different source of income, start feeling comfortable with that potential journey of considering the thought of leaving the job, because eventually, sooner than later, the corporate world as we know it is going to be completely rewritten. So I believe you want to be in control of your own career and destiny. So I think now is an amazing time to do just that. Well, friends, I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions or comments, pop them down in the comments below. I'm really happy to hear from you. Next up, check out this video over here. We actually filmed the last day in my corporate career running the hotel. So yeah, you might find that quite interesting to watch. As always, stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.